Originally from Ann Arbor, you know what I'm saying? So, I know the weather's probably different, you know what I mean?
Man, I've been here so long, I'm just a southerner now.
So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Spadenomics Comments in the building. You know what I'm saying? Also, shout out to JJ All Day in the building. You know what I mean? Today, we're going to talk about comic book store collectibles, the way the business has changed, the way the industry has changed, the way things have just changed, you know what I'm saying? Which I'm pretty sure I know you know because you're a business owner, you know what I'm saying? So, first question I want to ask, just get it out the way, Mr. Muncy. And I'm pronouncing your name right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to mess
You
with
say
brother.
Muncy.
Okay, I don't want to mess with brother's name. I don't want to mess with brother's name, you know what I'm saying? Let me ask you this. Is it more of a business or is it more about being a collector?
It's a business. Once you buy into it, it's a business.
Okay.
I'm a collector too, but I know a lot of store owners that say this is their collection once they own a store. Now I'm not that way because I collect too, but it's hard to collect and own a business because you might come in and say, Muncy, I really need a Hulk 181. And I said, well, I got one at the house. I'll bring it up for you. You want to keep people happy, so you sell from your collection to keep them happy.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. You know what I'm saying, on personal note. What's the, like the pandemic and stuff? You know what I mean? Like, for you being where we at in this area, what has it changed? Like, what you know what I'm saying? Like, from just, I guess, I know with the safety precautions, mask up, sanitize and all that, but like, as far as like the flow, has that changed a lot for you?
So comics actually got better when we opened back up, after being closed for so long because, we had to close. And then when we opened back up, the comic business actually got better. People wanted to collect more. I don't know if they were home and, just wanted to read more or, just was that time.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the gaming goes, it definitely slowed down the gaming. You don't have that flow in, you don't have people hanging out, and you can't really, you don't want you don't want 100 people sitting in here all together, and you can't have that anyway. So,
Right.
So that part really slowed down. But as far as the comics, I don't think it's really changed anything. In fact, I think it's actually got better, if at all.
Okay, and elaborate on that when you say that.
So it's mostly the new customers. Like I said, I think a lot of it's got to do with a lot of people had that extra money. They got that big unemployment checks and got some government subsidy, and some people had a little extra to spend, so they were like, hey, you know what, I might go check out some comic books. And nostalgia is a big thing right now.
Okay.
People, especially the millennials, are like all about stuff from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, sure enough. And when it comes to the collectibles part of it, like, how does that how do you maintain that you know what I'm saying, like, how do you I guess I'm saying, get the materials to show, like, how does that come about?
So I sell mostly new stuff. So,
Okay.
So I get them from my wholesalers, But when I was still selling old school books and stuff, I just bought from collectors, advertised that I buy and whatnot. People bring them in, and I'd say, this is what I'll give you.
Okay.
Like I said, I sell mostly brand new, subscriber boxes and new books.
Okay. You mentioned earlier, you've been in. I thought it was 25, but you've been in the business 26.
I've owned it it'll be 15 in March.
Okay.
And the shop itself has been open for 26 in March. So you were right. It's 25 now.
Okay.
In a couple of months it'll be 26.
And through all that time, you know what I'm saying, like, as far as like the comic world, and I read an article, read an article about the issues of books are outdated. Around 2019, it's talking about, the guy was saying that he felt like the issues are outdated. Then, variants and trade paperbacks and stuff like that, where you can get more stories than one. So, what's your opinion on, with you being in the business so long, regardless of the number, you've been in the business for a while, so you do know.
Yeah.
You're a veteran. To me, you're a veteran. So the issues, single issues coming together.
Yeah, they call them floppies in the industry.
Yeah.
Floppies.
So what's your opinion on that, as far as, like, pros and cons? Like, what's the good parts about it that somebody like me that might not know everything, but trying to learn. You know what I'm saying?
See, if you're buying floppies as opposed to if you buy a trade paperback, you know, you might spend. Now I like trades; it's a good way to read. You know, if you just like a story and you want to read it over and over again, don't have to worry about the condition of your comic books.
Mm-hmm.
You pick it up, you read it. You know, you put it on your shelf. You don't really have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But a trade's going to cost you, you know, anywhere from $15 to upwards to $50. You know, if you get an omnibus, like $150.
Right.
And it's not worth most of them. You know, some of them go out of stock and they're worth money later, but the majority of them aren't worth anything. They're worth, you know, once you buy it, it's like $5 or $10.
Okay.
Where floppies can always be worth something.
Okay.
You know, if you're buying comic books off the shelf, even if they're trash, you know, you're probably going to get $1 for them and $1 bucks, $2. Spade knows that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get them. You know, and especially the last couple of years, comic industry is crazy. You buy a book last week and it could be worth $100 this week.
Really?
You buy it off my shelf for $3.99. You know, Teen Titans. Did you get a Teen Titans one? Did you buy that one?
I don't think so, but I need to.
Yeah, Teen Titans
You
one.
got one.
I do?
You got one.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Okay.
It was what,
What's up,
$3.99?
Chris?
Yes, sir.
It's like $25 on eBay that first week.
Oh. Okay.
And if you're a great shop owner like me, you leave them on the shelf for your customers to pick up,
Okay.
even though they're going for $25.
I'm glad you said
That's right.
that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Now, I'm gonna segment into this right here. What makes the comic shop special? Cause this is just where the heart is right here. So, in your words, I ain't gonna say opinion because it's facts. What makes the comic shop special?
So I don't want to give away any of my secrets, but I think it's all about the owner. I think most comic shops, you know, they have that stigma. You know, you got the guy from The Simpsons, you know, the comic shop owner,
Mm-hmm.
and most of them are like that. You know, I think it's all about the personal. You know, you come in, you know your customers' names, you know what they like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't matter as much what you have on the shelf as long as you'll get it for them, and as long as if they want it, you'll have it when they come in. If Spade says, "Hey, I want Spider-Man every month," I'll make sure he has Spider-Man. And if Diamond trashes it and doesn't have a replacement for me, I'll go to another store and buy it for him, and it'll still be cover price minus his 10% discount.
Okay.
And I care about my customers too. I mean it's true.
Yeah.
I text them and they care about me. When I had to close, they all came and cleaned out their boxes. They text me, asked me how my family was doing. You know, who does that?
Cool.
You know, you working at it. You know, I worked retail for 15 years, retail management before I bought this place.
Really?
You know, them people they don't give a shit
See,
about
I never
you.
knew this.
You know,
I never knew
that's
this.
something that I can attest to.
Okay.
I'm like he'll do that time to time with me, just checks and see how you doing and you know how's everything going. He also did that during Christmas time and just said, "Hey, you know, y'all having a good Christmas? How's everything going?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "It's going good." I do the same thing with him, check on him and his family because he is right. You don't have too many store owners that would, you know, just check on your well-being.
Right.
Some of them are going to be like, "Hey, your box is running over, you coming to get it."
Yeah.
Or they might not say nothing, they just close your box down. I've known people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But with Muncy, it's just like, nah, he's really genuine. You know, you can tell that about people, about him as a person, just how genuine he is.
Yeah.
And that says a lot for us for, you know, having a loyal customer base, because I'm like, I come all the way from most shows up here to get my books.
Yeah. It's
And
true.
I'm just like, hey,
It's true. That's got to be love right there.
And we appreciate it.
I appreciate it, brother. I know you do. I do too.
All right. Now, let me ask you this, Mr. Muncy. I'm sorry. We talked about this earlier. Can publishers or distributors help stores like this? And if so, how? During this time, you know what I'm saying?
They could, but they don't. You know,
They don't.
They're busy about they're too worried about their bottom lines and how much money. And comics is an afterthought for them, honestly. You think about the big conglomerate that Disney is
Mm-hmm.
and how much money they make. Marvel and what they make on Marvel comics doesn't mean anything to them.
Oh, okay.
But they don't want it to go anywhere either because it's just a breeding pool for stories they can use for TV and movies. You know, it's a cheap way to get stories where you don't want to pay some famous writer to write you a script when some guy's writing a comic book about it, and you know your comic books are still making money,
Mhm.
but you know the the amount of money they're making on comic books doesn't even register to them. And same with DC, you know, which is Warner Brothers, but AT&T owns them now. And, you know, it's the same thing. Now, DC was pretty cool during the pandemic. I will say that they donated, there was a comic book relief fund they did, and DC donated a large chunk of money to them. And Jim Lee was super cool. He was doing, he was drawing pictures and selling them on eBay, and he was donating, you know, all the money to them. And they sent every store that applied, they sent a check to, which was really cool. You know, some cases it wasn't a lot, but it was still, you know, money's money. You know, they were trying to help out. And, you know, Marvel didn't do anything like that when we closed. They offered us like a little bit bigger discount on like a month's worth of comics or something.
Okay. So this right here, I'm segueing into this next one. You've been, like I said, you've been doing the business for a while. What are some of the highs and lows of being in the business? Like, what are some of those high moments, like you were just talking about, when people help and support, and some of the low moments that the customer don't understand? They just think that you're the person just behind the desk that can find the book when they need it or can order it when they need it. What are some of the things, you know, high and low moments that the customer or somebody like me might not understand?
Well, the lows, we'll start with that because that's a lot easier. You know, the lows, of course, is owning any business. You know, with a comic book store, the margins are very, very low. You know, I'm selling things that are $3.99. You know, it's not like, you know, I'm selling stuff for $59.99. You know, comic books are $3.99. That's my living. You know, Magic Pack is $3.99. You know, and the margins aren't great on them. So you got to sell a lot of product to make any money. So you have good months and you have bad months, and you have to be prepared for the bad months. If you have to close down for 9 weeks because some crazy pandemic happened, you gotta be prepared for it, or you won't last in this business. You know, and you know, there's sad moments. You know, like I said, I care about my customers. So I had a good friend and a good customer of mine die this year from COVID. So that was
rest in peace to that person.
Yeah, that was sad. And you know, I've lost a couple customers. I always retire their box numbers on my subscriber sheet. It says, you know, retired with nobody. As long as I own the store, nobody will ever get that box.
That's respect right there, man.
You know, but I guess the high moments is it's you own your own business, and it's great, and I get to do what I love. I've been reading comics since I could read, and I love it. I love everything comics. I love the gaming too. The gaming's new to me. You know, I started it when I bought the store. And I love it. I love board games. I love Magic. I love it too.
You're pretty tech savvy too, right?
I am, yeah.
And I was gonna ask you, like, what, you know what I'm saying, besides put the comment to the side, what else are you good at, or you feel like you're good at, or you just like to have fun with besides the comic world?
Well, I don't have time for much else, you know, married and got a 13-year-old.
Understood. Bam, understood.
13-year-old girl takes up a little bit of time.
Yes, sir, understood. I got mine a little bit older, but I understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
They were Tasman, hey, you like Tasmanian devil, man.
I'm not younger, but I am.
So I understand what you mean. Like, how do, like, this next one right here, I would like to ask you, the way comics are issued, crossover events, etc., do you think that it's drowning the readers? Like, as far as like so many issues, you think, like, you know, certain new readers that want to get into the store that maybe they got left behind, forgot about, got too busy. With the way issues are being issued now, so many crossover stories. In your opinion, do you think that maybe the readers might be getting drowned?
I think it's too much.
Okay.
I think some of it's good. I think if it's handled well, like I think Future State was handled brilliant.
Okay.
You know, DC said, hey, we're gonna do this story, and it's gonna be about these characters, what the DC universe might look like, you know, 50 years from now or whatever. And it's not that long, but you know, you get what I'm saying. You know, in the future, but instead of like distributing all the books that they were distributing for 2 months, they said we're not gonna distribute all our regular books, and we're only gonna distribute the Future State books.
Okay.
So, you know, that was handled well to me, because you don't want some guy to have to come in and pick up all his 4 Batman books in 2 months, but then also get 4 next Batman books and 4 Dark Detective books.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And now take King in Black, which is also fantastic.
Yes.
But, you know, they got, you know, 10 crossovers, and there's like 3 issues of each, and you want to keep up, you're going to be spending on it. See, that was handled poorly, you know. You can't.
Wow. Now, why? What in? Now, you know what I'm saying? What if you? I know if you know, or if you can say, what makes them throw them issues out like that so fast?
It's money.
Okay.
It's all money.
Okay.
You know, they're just trying to make money. They figure, you know, even if they sell, you know, 20,000 copies of Gwenpool vs. Carnage, you know, it's still 20,000 copies.
So is it fair to say that the older comic authors, writers, artists, is it fair to say that the actual love of the art in the comic passed with them, and now that all these new guys or new people that's coming in that I'm pretty much getting introduced to, it's more about just a great picture and a great caption and a great cover?
It's hard to say because, you know, I don't, you know, I know some of those guys. I've gotten, you know, commissions from some of those artists before,
Okay.
and they're super nice, and it's obvious, you know, they care about what they do, and they want it to look good. And there's writers, you know, that I know that care about what you do, but, you know, from what I understand, it's not, you know, it's not a money business unless you're that big guy.
Okay.
So I can understand some of the new guys coming in and just wanting to churn out them books, you know, because they got to make a living. So if you're only getting, you know, $100, you know, $100 a page or something, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
you're only putting out 1 book a month, you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
so I can understand where the content would suffer. So I don't necessarily fault them, the creators, for it. I think there are some creators that don't care as much,
Mm-hmm.
but there wasn't as much. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. I don't want to badmouth.
No, it's okay.
badmouth
It's okay. I'm
anybody.
just learning. I'm just trying to get the better understanding because, you know, I might see a variant cover, and somebody else might see it that's been reading comics longer than me. They might think that, or might say that, or might have a reason why that isn't as popular or as fun to read as this one might be. Because with me being 40, I'm still entertained when I see some of the old Green Lantern comic covers.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the books that the pages turn yellow, like I'm still entertained by those books. You know what I'm saying? For number 1, I ain't never read them, but for number 2, it's good stories. And
Yeah,
them
absolutely.
stories was first.
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to learn the most by reading the first story, I feel like, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, well, I would have asked you about the business of collector, and like you said, it's more about a business. A person that's just trying to collect, can they hang? They probably couldn't hang around these times, could they? As far as keeping the lights on. Just an opinion.
It'd be hard.
Just an
It'd be
opinion.
hard, yeah.
Okay. I just wonder, you know what I'm saying? Cause
This is a hard business. I wouldn't
Okay.
recommend it for anybody.
Oh, okay.
You got to be dedicated, and you're going to have your hard times,
Mhm.
and you gotta, you'll have good times too, but you gotta, it's not all, hey, Muncy gets to sit up in a comic shop and read comic books all day. I'm doing orders every day.
See.
I'm texting customers. You
See.
know.
Okay, that I can segue into this now because that right there, you put me perfect on spot. Like when it gets to I remember I asked you earlier about the diamond.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The distribution of it and getting the stuff in here. What is that process like?
It's kind of a headache. So, it's basically just like your wholesale on anything, except they have a monopoly. They're the only comic. Well, until DC left. We were just talking about that before we started. Now, before DC left during the pandemic and got their own wholesaler. But before that, Diamond had a monopoly. They're the only comic wholesaler in the world.
Oh.
And they have set discount rates. We don't need to get into all that.
Right.
It depends on how much you order.
Mm-hmm.
And they're one company, and they haven't really updated anything in the 15 years that I've been in business. So, you're still dealing with tech that's 15 years old. And this year, they've gotten rid of reps, so you have to do it all online. There's no face-to-face anymore.
Okay.
I will say they are really good about either replacing or crediting what's damaged or what's missing. but that doesn't really help you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like if Daredevil 25, which Electra's Daredevil, highest book of the week, and I order 25 copies of it, and they're all damaged, and they say, "Hey, we're gonna give you your money back, but we don't have any replacements for you." Then I got to find these for my customers to make my customers happy, and I might have to pay $25 a piece to get them for all my customers.
Really?
I mean, some stores don't do that. I would, because
Okay.
I want my customers to have them.
Okay.
Now, some stores are pretty good. There's some retailer sites where you can post and say, "Hey, I got screwed on these. Can you help me out?" And some stores are pretty cool. The South is pretty cutthroat around here, but in general, people are pretty nice about it. But that's the biggest thing with Diamond. That and anything that's not comics is really hard to get from them. So I want to carry toys, and I want to sell them to my customers. But like the Marvel Legends, the cost of them, I'm paying almost what Walmart's selling them for, and I'm getting them 2 months later than Walmart and Target. So I'm having to sell them for $8 more than Walmart and Target are. And I give 10% off too. So it's hard to deal with, So that part of it, and you may not even get it. Sometimes they'll invoice you, charge you for it, and not even ship it to you. And you look, and you have to call it in and say, "Hey, I didn't get this," and they say, "Well, we don't have it," and then you don't get the credit for like 2 weeks. So it's almost like they borrowed the money from you for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. So
Yeah.
so I guess it's some shadiness going on sometimes.
Sometimes
You just gotta be on top of your game.
that's it.
Okay.
You gotta learn kind of corners to cut and back doors. After 15 years, you learn how to deal with it.
Okay. All right.
But they do a lot of good things for us. It's not all bad.
All right. You want to point out one or two of them?
Well, like I said, the replacements are real.
Okay.
You will always get either a replacement or a credit for what you didn't get. So I will say that for them. You will always at least get a replacement comic or your money back.
Okay.
I've never had them not do that. So that's definitely probably the plus. 'Cause
Okay.
I've heard there's other companies, and other wholesalers and other businesses that don't do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. But okay. All right. That's a good thing to know. What are some of the factors of getting your issues in as far as what the consumer want, and like what's in stock?
So it's not the biggest thing is the back orders and just knowing what your customers want and having to guess, because our orders run 2 months ahead of time. I don't know if you knew that.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, so I have to order everything 2 months ahead of time.
Okay.
Now we have an adjustment, but it's like a 5-week adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you miss that, they're probably going to sell out, so you're not going to get any more. So yeah, so the King in Black, I can't keep it on the shelves. I ordered, I thought enough number ones, it wasn't enough. I couldn't adjust number 2 because it was already passed, so I adjusted 3, and then when 3's coming out, and then I don't even have any for the shelf because so many people signed up for it, so I'm reordering it. I got 3 reorders in, sold out all those, still trying to get them in. It's crazy.
So it's just a constant supply demand.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And you don't know, Daredevil selling, 10 copies, and then, they put Electra in there, and now, 30 people want it. You don't know that's going to happen. Nobody tells you, They don't want to ruin the story. So.
Right. Okay. And for the ones who don't know, the pool box, because I'm still learning that pool box myself. How does that work once again?
So there's no fees, there's no trick to it, at least at my store. There's it's just a subscriber box. You sign up for it. You say you just got to sign up for at least one book here. Mm-hmm. So you say, I want Green Lantern every month. So I put you down for it, and then you get 10% off everything in the store. Everything, anything you buy here. It doesn't matter if it's a bag and board. Doesn't matter if it's not comic book related. If it's gaming, you get 10% off of it, and you always have that book. It's a promise I make to all my subscribers. Mm-hmm. You will not miss a book if you've signed up for it. I will make sure you get it. So whether it's Last Ronin or whether it's Teen Titans,
he didn't last Ronin. Oh,
you will get it.
And for some people, for the ones who watch it now, ones who watch later, and ones who in and out. What type of, but just besides comic books, what else can they get or check out or peep out or be interested in when they come into your store?
So D&D's gotten huge. I think it's got a lot to do with Stranger Things and that Critical Role. But I sell a lot of D&D. I carry all the dice. Dice is huge. Carry all the books. Carry a lot of board games. We do X-Wing up here too, Star Wars X-Wing and Magic, and all those are big. And like I said, if you read comics too, you get the benefit of the 10%. If you don't, it's cool. You come up, hang out. If you special order, though, like if you order a D&D book that's not out yet, you're going to get 10% off of it.
Okay.
So any special order, you'll still get 10% off of. Any pre-orders, I should say.
Okay.
And we got shirts and, that's right. There's Fate.
Oh, yeah.
Change is constant.
You see it. Spade Anonymous Comments in the building. And also, like I know when I was reading the comic shop online on Facebook, I know it says you have Wi-Fi playroom and all that. But with COVID, what I'm saying. So do you have what are your rules when people come in here as far as like now?
So you just have to wear a mask. I keep saying so. I don't know why I do that all the time. But you just got to wear a mask. I know a lot of people don't like it, but even if you're in here hanging out. Now we had the gaming area closed over the holidays, but it's open again on Saturdays now, and we're running Magic. And we had 10 or 12 guys in there this weekend hanging out, and they were all real respectful. Wore their masks, but I have free internet. You can hang out and use it. We have drinks. You can just hang out and. We don't charge you, so you can come up and talk to me. Tell me that, you think Hulk can beat Wolverine or Wolverine can beat Hulk. I don't care. I'll wax intellectual with you.
He ain't lying either, because I done did it. He ain't lying either.
So am I.
Yeah, he ain't lying either. I know that's real.
And I won't lie to you either. I will tell you the truth. So you can ask what I think, and I'll lay it down.
All right. And now, we right here at the end. I want to let you know, I got 2 more things I want to throw at you. Before I do, I want to let you know, thank you. And I appreciate, man, for taking the time out of your day to, your free day to sit back and, just show what you show, talk what you talk, and tell people that the comic shop is a cool place to be. Because I know, because I come here. So I just want to let you know, thank you for that. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up. You should check out COOKZ24.
Please, you know what I'm saying? Please, you know what I'm saying?
I'll watch a few of them. They're fun. Yeah.
So, I want to ask you this right here. Well, actually, I want you to explain to the people who watch it the biggest misconception of comics and comic roles.
Ooh, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? And I want you to say how you feel, let people know. Because I know I feel like I'm a nerd and geek in my own mind, too. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like, you know how people feel, but I want you to touch on it because you're right at the base of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a fan. You know what I'm saying? You actually standing up in here every day and you come from the culture. You just didn't just say, hey, I'm just going to start reading comics and selling them. You actually come from the, you know what I mean? So, in your words, biggest misconception of comics and comic lovers. The floor is yours.
That's a tough one, man, because now are we talking about right now or are we talking about
just
when I was a kid?
Period, because people, you know how they do, nerds and geeks and nerds, but you don't understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, like you don't understand.
I think the biggest misconception overall with comic books is that comic books are for kids.
Okay.
Like, comic books have never been for kids. They weren't for kids when I was reading them when I was a kid. When I was, I don't know, 10 years old and reading Dark Knight, that book wasn't for a kid. I was reading it and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. That wasn't for a kid. Like, they don't write them for kids. These aren't for kids. There are some out there for kids. They do these young adult novels, but that's the biggest one. Is they're not for kids, they're for adults. Mm-hmm. And, the other one is, you stinky nerds, you got...
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, you're nerdy, you read comic books.
All that.
No, comic books are cool. They're no different than a novel. They're the exact same thing. They're a novel with pictures. Mm-hmm. Most of my vocabulary came from comic books,
True.
There's famous writers that write Brad Meltzer writes comic books,
Mm-hmm.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Didn't know that.
Joe Hill writes comic books, Stephen King's son,
Didn't know that one.
It's
CM Punk.
Yeah.
CM Punk?
He writes for more.
He did.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Whoa. See what I'm saying? I did not know that. Yeah, see, that's how I just.
People do that, but it's not the same. You know, they want to come in. So I guess there was good examples of it where they did it, like when Avengers had Civil War.
Okay.
Or, you know, the newest Avengers movies, the Infinity Gauntlet movies. I could come in, they'd come in and I say, I got the trade right here. You know, it's a little bit different. I think the trade's better. I think the comic's better.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. You know, read it. So that was good for me.
Okay.
But, you know, as far as just like making a Doctor Strange movie or, you know, Black Widow movie, there's no transition between them. So.
Okay. All right. Hey, you just gave me a better understanding too, cause
Also, if I can interject, one of the biggest misconceptions about comics is they're all superheroes.
okay.
That's true.
And as much as you see behind them, you look at, you got Avengers, Superman, Justice League back there, but you have other stuff like Umbrella Academy,
Magic
Walking
Order.
Dead.
Walking Dead. So you have things that is just not superheroes.
Not just villains and heroes
Right.
and stuff. Yeah.
And like I always tell people, there's a comic book for everybody. You just have to look for it and know what you want.
That's exactly right.
One book that I have is called The Names. I know you know that one. And I've read that one before, and it's kind of like a mystery almost. So, you have books that are mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
You have books that are sci-fi. You have books just like, soap operas, stuff like that on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So there literally is a comic book for everybody. You just have to know what you're looking for.
Okay.
And people just automatically assume it's a comic book. It's Superman. It's Spider-Man. It's Hulk or something like that. And it's like, that ain't the case.
Okay.
I've introduced several people to different books and like, check this out. I mean, like he said before, there are adult books. There are books that have sex in it. I mean,
Right.
a book called Sex Criminals.
Right.
So that title kind of speaks for itself. But again, you just have to know what you're looking for, know what you want.
Mm-hmm. And also to connect to your point, Spade Anonymous, I figured out that a person taught me that Batman was a detective before he was Batman.
Uh-huh.
So
The world's greatest.
That's something that I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When I came in here very first time, I found like 3 detective comics, and that's what they titled.
Detective,
So I did. That's another one to add on what you're saying. Before Batman was Batman, he was the world's greatest
Greatest detective.
He even had a gun.
and he even had a gun.
he did.
And he's
He did.
against guns. So
Yeah, he is.
now he's against guns. So see stuff like that you can learn. You know what I'm saying, when you're in the comic world. You know what I'm saying, and it ain't even got to be about you just in the comic world. You just learning something new. Because everybody think Batman is just swing from here to here, suit, utility belt, car, Alfred, Robin. But they don't know it's more
They
to
don't know
it.
the detective.
Yeah, it's more to it.
And the good writers will put it in their stories, and it'll be, the greatest detective in the world, and it'll show. He will search out the criminals and find them using his detective skills, not just beating the hell out of them like you see in the movies or the shows.
Exactly.
Scaring them. Why the hell does anybody live in Gotham City, by the way? I'm gonna go completely off the
I
subject.
mean, yeah, that's fine.
Look, why would you live in that city? Like it's got all these. Arkham Asylum's a joke, man. It's a revolving door. They just keep coming out. I don't know why would you live there.
It's low insurance premium.
That's what they got to be stuck there. That's what I
Low
figured.
insurance, because I'm like, you live in Metropolis, your home line will be destroyed by Superman and Zod flying through it.
Yeah.
Versus going to Gotham, you might get somebody broke into your building, but they ain't gonna break the building.
Your property value is so low. You bought a house, way back when Gotham was good, like when Bruce's parents died.
It's not, let me before I come at you with the last little question or last little thing. Since we're on this subject, I just curious to know, Gotham and Metropolis, is that New York and Jersey? Is that,
Well, so Gotham, they've called New York Gotham City before.
Okay.
So it's loosely based on Gotham, and Metropolis was honestly can't remember.
I always said it was Chicago.
really?
That's what I always
We all
thought.
got smartphones, but I'm supposed to know this shit, so I'm not gonna look it up in front of the camera.
Or is it like the New York boroughs?
It's
Staten
kinda
Island,
like that.
Harlem.
It was supposed to be like across the bridge,
Yeah.
It was like,
Okay.
It was like New York, and then Metropolis was the
Like New
the
Jersey.
fancy city across the bridge.
Okay.
But I don't think it was it was really supposed to, like, I don't know what he based it on. Honestly, I would have to look it up again. But,
okay, because Daredevil was
but Gotham was 100% based on New York.
Okay,
like, it was,
all right.
Yeah.
And Star City, what would that be?
Seattle.
Seattle?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Star City is Seattle.
Oh man. Okay. So that's and then and like I was saying, Daredevil and Luke Cage, that's pretty much Harlem.
God, that's another one. If you're a villain, why the hell would you be in New York City? Like
so many heroes and stuff.
Every
there.
superhero is in New York City.
New York City.
You got Avengers Tower, you got the Baxter Building with the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man's there. You go down to street level, you got Punisher, you got Moon Knight, you got Luke Cage, you got Daredevil, you got why is the Kingpin still there? I'd be like, shit, I'm going to Chicago. I'm out of here.
LA.
Yeah, I'm going to LA.
It was any super. Now where was the X-Men at?
Well, so they were there too.
They were there too?
Now they've left a couple times, but they just blow them up.
Like,
the poor mutants get killed everywhere they go.
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
And then they come back to New York City, go back to upstate.
Well, they went to San Francisco, they went to Arizona and Inferno. They were like out in the desert there for a while, but they always end up back in New York. And they had an island. Of course, it got blown up and they all got killed because that's what happens to the mutants.
Yeah, because I noticed that the mansion always get blown up.
Yeah, the mutants never get a break, man.
Okay, all right, okay, that's it. I just wanted to get that out the way. Now I ain't got to worry about asking that no more. You know what I'm saying? Let people know where to look and find you at, whether it's on here or online. If they want to see what you have to offer, they want to see what comments you got, or if they want to ask you some questions, just let everybody know. For the ones that's watching now and later, where to find you at, where to type you in at,
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're on Facebook. It's just the comic shop in Decatur, Alabama. You can find it. We're the only one on there, so you can find it. We have a YouTube. We're just starting. We used to use it for magic. It's Muncy's Comic Shop, and we did a lot of magic on there, but we haven't used it in years. But Spade and I have been talking, and I know I talked to you, and I think we're going to start posting some videos on there, maybe some origin videos, and doing some talks about comic books, trying to get that going again. Get that YouTube up. It's a big thing now. I'm old, man. I don't know about this YouTube. TikTok, my daughter talking about. I keep her away from it. Don't look at that TikTok. I don't know what's on there. I don't understand it. These 20-second videos. I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at.
You do a lot in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And what's some of your ads, like as far as like Twitter or Instagram or?
So we don't have, I just have personal ones.
Okay.
We just have the Facebook and YouTube right now.
Okay. And
maybe if YouTube hits up, we'll get a Twitter and an Instagram going.
Okay.
All the information be down in the description.
Okay, and all the information will be down in the description on my YouTube channel.
Social media.
All social media will be, sure. I forgot about that. Thank you, JJ. Thank you, man. So other than that, if you like, give any shout outs. Anybody want to let know or let the comic community know, you know what I'm saying? Much love or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And we'll say peace for now, you know what I mean?
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming out and doing this.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, too. Keep it short and sweet. You see what I'm saying? All right, man. Thank you, Mr. Muncy. We are here at the comic shop. Like I said, once again, 815 6th Avenue, Suite D, Decatur, Alabama, 35601. Comic book store and collectibles. Specializing in comics and gaming. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel, COOKZ24, COOKZ24 on all medias, and we'll see y'all later. Mr. Muncy, thank you once again.
Thank you, buddy.
Peace. All right, y'all. Peace out.